Welcome to the 15th episode of the MC Knitting Adventures podcast. My name's Colleen.
And my name is May. Welcome back to those returning viewers and welcome to those of you who are viewing us for the first time. Today our adventure takes us all the way to Lansing, Michigan. But before we begin, Colleen will talk about what we are wearing.
Now, we're wearing something small because it is summertime and because we don't want to be too warm. But we're both wearing the same thing and it looks a little different. So what we're wearing is the Koigu scarf by May Landra. And you've seen these before, but I just wanted to show you the difference. So mine is a plain color. It's in Koigu KPM. It's 100% merino. And this is the plum color, which I like. It's light. I could easily wear this to work and in air conditioning. It would keep my neck warm. And yours is different because the yarn it's actually a sock yarn. So it's Diamond Luxury Footloose. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, but the pattern makes it look a little different. It still has the spine down the front, so it's got that attention to detail, but it looks great on you.
It's hard to believe they're the same pattern. Like, it's amazing how different they look when you use different yarn.
Exactly, exactly. So I'm glad we kind of both chose what we were going to wear without asking each other, and we ended up looking the same, so that works out really well. So that's what we're wearing, and next we're going to talk about our finished objects. My first finished object is a Crescent lace Shawlette. There's what it looks like. And the yarn that I used is Diamond Luxury Soxy Lady. It's 60% superwash wool, 20% alpaca, and 20% nylon. And the yarn was lovely to work with. So if you'll help me hold that up. So the nice thing about this is it is small, so it's not going to be too big. It is lacy at the bottom, and you use short rows, and I hadn't done a lot of work with short rows, but I'm really happy. It's got purples and golds and teals. I love the colors in it.
It's beautiful. Did you block this at all?
I did block it. It really opened up the lace.
Very
so
nice.
Yeah, I think that would be good for anybody to do with this pattern, is definitely block it. Actually, that would look nice on you.
Yeah.
It looks really, really nice. Okay. So that was the first one. And then the second of my finished objects are a pair of socks. But I don't have them because I mailed them off to my niece Meredith. You'll recall in a previous episode we talked about different heels for socks. And so I made 3 single socks. I've made one of those into a pair for me. And then I thought I can make one for Meredith because her feet and my feet are similar in size. So the yarn that I used was Paton's Kroy. And it is 75% wool, 25% nylon. So I did that, and I used the Afterthought heel that's in the Smooth Operator Socks pattern by Susan B. Anderson. And I got a lovely text back from Meredith, and she said finally she has a pair of socks that fit her feet.
Because her feet are very tiny.
They're tiny like mine, and I understand exactly what she's talking about, so I'm glad that they fit, because you never quite know when you're sending socks off to somebody else, but I'm glad that they fit, and I'm glad she's enjoying that. So that was my second finished object, and May's going to insert a picture here so you can see those socks.
Very good job.
Thank you. My last finished object is the Trista shawl, and that's by Amy Christoffers.
Have you done this one before?
No, this is the only time that I've done this. The yarn is Harvest Worsted, and it is 100% extra fine superwash merino, and it is worsted weight.
Turned out very nice.
And I am thrilled with this. The color is indigo. Every skein of yarn that you buy from this company, they're going to plant a tree. So I love the openness of it. I think it will be great. It'll last a little bit longer as far as how long you can wear it into the spring, summer, that kind of thing.
Did you block this one?
I haven't blocked it. I like it how it is, so I'm really happy about that. You can see the ends. I'm just going to show you. So because I hadn't blocked it, I did weave in the ends, but I haven't cut them right off because that may have to be part of what's in there. But I'm really thrilled with it. I think it's lovely.
Beautiful.
And what I did, because I had 2 skeins, is I knit with 1 skein up to a point, and then I knit alternating rows. And I wanted to do that because it's hard to carry all the way through, but I wanted them to blend in. And I think they did a good job. I don't think there's any difference. Somebody wouldn't know that there were 2 skeins in that
Oh,
pattern.
absolutely not. No, it looks
Yeah.
great.
And it's really soft yarn. This Harvest Worsted by Earth, which is part of Estelle. It is lovely.
Feels very soft.
Yeah, I really, really like that.
Very nice.
All right, so that's my finished objects. And May, what's your finished object?
Well, this is a painting, another painting that I have done. We went to Provincetown in Cape Cod. That's very tip of Cape Cod in the States.
Yeah.
And down the street there was all these large paintings, and there were actually paintings just like this, weren't they?
Yeah.
And they had small paintings, large paintings, and I thought, when I came home, I thought, I could paint something like that. And I
Right.
painted the exact same thing. They had little red boats, blue boats,
Right.
and it was very cool. So it kind of reminds me of the time we went to Cape Cod.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
And I know you've done a few with different colored boats. I know I have a little one at my office where I work, and it gets comments about it all the time.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
Comments
go.
about it. Yeah, you're
So
a
that's
good
my
artist.
finished object.
All right, so that's finished objects. Next, we're going to talk about our works in progress. My first work in progress is a pair of socks for May. I had made some for myself, and I used this bamboo mosaic sock yarn. It is 63% acrylic, 30% bamboo, and 7% polyester. And May really liked the socks, and I thought I would make some for you. Now, you have a pair of desert boots that you love, so these are kind of your desert boot socks. So the pattern is the Blueberry Waffle Sock by Sandy Turner. And this pattern is for DK weight yarn, and I've just done a bit of a hack with it. So I'm using this fingering weight yarn, and if you want to hold that up for me. So I love the Blueberry Waffle pattern. It's a 4-row repeat. It's a free pattern. It's a 4-row repeat, and 2 of those rows are just plain knitting. And so this knits up really, really quickly, and it's easy to see, count your rows. So most often when I make socks, every time I finish a row, I make a tick mark. And for this, I can finish 4 rows and then count 4. So I'm really liking how it's working up. It feels nice to work with. I'm using some wooden needles. I don't know. I think I might prefer double pointed needles, but if I'm knitting in the car, I don't want to take a chance of losing a needle down the side of the thing. So it's easier to do magic loop, and I'm getting better at it, so it just gets a little quicker.
They feel very soft.
Yes, I think you're going to like them when they're all done.
You'll love them. And they're going to go great with my desert boots. The colors are fantastic.
Yeah, I think they're going to be nice.
Great. Thank you again.
So that is my first work in progress. And the next one is a basket. So I had made a small one of the Churchmouse Yarns and Teas baskets. I'd made a small one, and I decided it would be great to have a basket to put my knitting in. So when we went to Listowel, I had purchased some Bernat Maker Home Deck. There it is. It's a big skein of yarn. It's 72% cotton and 28% nylon. And I decided I wanted to make a basket. So it's crochet work. It's good to change that up. That helps up. So if you can help me, it's kind of, there we go. So I used, this color is called Clay. I like it. And then that ball finished, and I still had half a ball of this color. You can see inside is the ball that I'm working on. Once you put things in it, it's a little bit, it holds things better. So I really like how it's coming. I think it's going to sit on the floor and hold my knitting.
So you're not quite
nicely.
Finished. And
not quite
plan
finished.
is to do more of this.
Yeah, I think I probably have about 3 inches more of the ivory. It'll come down about here is my plan, which will hold it and support the sides.
That's excellent.
I really, really like it.
Yeah,
they come out nice. It's a pattern that I would really recommend. So once again, it's Churchmouse at Home called Crocheted Baskets. So I really, really like that one. And my last work in progress is the Heritage Wave Night Train Shawl. And when I had gone out to Calgary to visit my brother and his family, I had taken a skein of this yarn for my niece. And that is the Heritage Wave Superwash Merino 25% nylon. And I loved the color that I bought for her.
Oh, wow. This is beautiful.
So this pattern was a little bit harder for her to do. So I didn't take this pattern. I took a different one. But this one has little places of lace throughout it. And I love how the color changes, and I love the open work. So I'm not done, so I haven't blocked it yet.
There you go.
But I'm really, really happy. I'm using my Looka needles, and they're nice and light in the summer to work with. So
And
it's
this
good.
feels very light too, as a nice.
It is. It is.
Very
I'm really
nice,
happy
soft.
with it.
Yeah.
Yep. So that I don't have a whole lot
Love the
left to do.
colours.
This is all I've got left, folks. So hopefully it'll be a finished object by next time we podcast. But I'm really, really happy with it. It reminds me of the beach. So
And I can't believe that this type of yarn looks like this.
yeah, it changes color. It's like a
changes.
gradient, and it really
Look
nice.
at that.
Yeah, so I'm really, really happy with it. It feels nice. I can hardly
Feels
wait to
very
finish
nice.
that one up. So those are my works in progress. And next we're going to talk about our adventure.
Our adventure today takes us all the way to Lansing, Michigan. It's about a 3-hour drive from where we live. You know, it's across the border to the United States. We cross at Sarnia at the Blue Water Bridge. Now I'm going to put a map up. That was one person's suggestion, that we show a map of where we're going and how
Oh,
it
I
is.
like
So
that idea.
I
think
did
that's
too.
fantastic.
Now
yeah.
the map I have right now, we'll see how that goes, but that'll be a first attempt to do that.
Perfect.
Lansing, Michigan is actually the capital of Michigan, and I was kind of embarrassed because I always thought it was Detroit.
So did I. And I kept saying to me, I can't believe Lansing is the capital.
I know.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it is Lansing, which is a really nice little city that we've never been in. The population is about 116,000 people. It's home of the Michigan State University, and it has farmers markets, libraries, museums, theaters.
Lots of things to see.
Did you know it had a 13-mile non-motorized trail?
I didn't
which
know
is
that.
about 21 kilometers, I believe.
Wow.
And it's so that would be something that maybe we could go back and do when we have
Absolutely.
more time. I'd love to do that bike trail.
Yeah, because you and I walked a half marathon at one time, so I think we could do at
Do the
least
bike
half of
trail,
it anyway.
absolutely.
Yeah, it would be great.
Some notable people that came from there were, for those of you who are vintage, Burt Reynolds was born there. Magic Johnson, the basketball player, of course. Stevie Wonder went to the blind school there.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Also, it was, you know, the Oldsmobile, the car.
Yes.
It was the first mass-produced, I think, 1901. The mass-produced Oldsmobile was there. That's where they came from. So even before Ford.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. So we were there. We didn't stay too long. It was going to be a storm coming in. And the girls there at the Woven Art were very nice, and they told us that they had the Capitol building, and that there's old Lansing, Michigan. It was lovely, but we didn't get as much time to be there and get some photographs because of the weather.
Right.
And we wanted to get to our hotel.
Excellent.
But when we did go to the hotel, right outside the hotel, there was a great little market, as you can see. I'm going to put a video in. and you can see it's not always about knitting, as you can see.
Not always.
We had a nice drink there. There was lots to choose from.
Exactly.
We shopped around and we saw some soaps, and the food we couldn't even decide what we were going to eat. The food was so amazing with the different varieties of cheeses and remember that? It was
brilliant. Yeah, we had some hummus. It was so good. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we did visit there in May. That is where the royal wedding was on also.
Exactly.
And that was kind of cool. But the hotel was fantastic, and it was kind of more like a drive through Lansing on our way to Holland.
Right. Absolutely.
But we did get to stop at the Woven Art and the Sticks and Strings that you can talk a little bit about.
The first yarn store we visited was Woven Art, and Meg Croft is the owner. And Sarah is the clerk that we spoke to. It is a lovely shop. It has you enter into this one room, and then there's a doorway through into a bigger room. And there are so many different types of yarns in that store. And they have lots of magazines and lots of books. I'm just going to mention some. So they have Hedgehog Fibers, Regia, Rowan, Madeline Tosh, Swan Island, Malabrigo, Manos del Uruguay, lots and lots of samples. They had 5 or 6 different enamel pins you could choose from, and the samples were really helpful. The one thing that they had, there's a book by Coco Knits, which is called A Sweater Workshop, and I'm looking at that seriously. I looked at it in Calgary, didn't pick it up, and I looked at it at Woven Art and didn't pick it up, and I think I want to because it takes you through the whole process of knitting a sweater, and I think it would be a good thing. So that store is on 325 B Grove Street in East Lansing, Michigan.
And that's when we were there. There was some traffic issues, but
there
parking,
were lots
but
of
it didn't really affect us at all. We did find parking not a problem, and they were so kind there, and the store was so well organized.
Yeah, it was
and so clean, and very nice store.
And the second store that we went to was called Sticks and Strings. There it is. And we had Kathy and Sabrina, who are the owners of the store. It's at 1107 North Washington in Lansing. And it was a lovely store. It's in an old house, so there's lots of little rooms. They've done a great job of displaying what the yarn is and putting samples in. They have things like Cascade, Wonderland yarn, a Plymouth yarn, which I hadn't felt before. It's lovely. They're not online. Sticks and Strings is not online, but they do have lots of classes, and they're talking about getting online. They're just trying to figure out whether they want to do that. So it was great. Kathy and Sabrina were lovely.
Very nice people,
They were lovely, and they gave us some ideas of things to see, and we really enjoyed that store as well. So we're really lucky that within 10-15 minutes of each other, we were able to find two yarn stores in Lansing.
Yeah.
So that's our adventure.
It was a great adventure again.
It was. We had lots of fun.
And no problems getting across that border.
No, we did a great job, and we always
Colleen and I also have a Nexus card.
Yes.
So that gets us across.
Yeah.
And so that means that we're low risk commuters back and forth, right? So
absolutely.
It's never really been a problem so far, and cross my fingers, but yes.
Exactly.
So that was that makes it nice to go across the border.
Exactly. And I love the drive. I mean, the drive into Michigan is really, really nice, and we usually drive up the coast if we can.
Yes,
This time we had to drive back the coast, but even going through the middle of it, I really enjoyed our drive.
It was great.
Yeah.
It's a good adventure.
That's right. That's our adventure. And next I'm going to talk about our souvenirs. So as I mentioned earlier, the first store that we visited was Woven Art. There's the card again. And so many things to choose from. Oh, sometimes it's hard. But I'm trying as we're going around to pick yarns that I haven't either seen before or that are fairly local. So I found this yarn by Mountain Colors Incorporated. It says beautiful hand-painted yarns. And I bought 2 skeins. And they are, I'm just going to say, 53% superwash wool, 17% domestic wool, 17% silk, 13% nylon. There's 450 yards in each skein, so that is a good lot of yarn. So the 2 colors are to go together. The sample that they had out of that was Kallarah by Ambah O'Brien. It's a really nice shawl. This is going to be brilliant. The color here, this one, is called Navy. Now they're actually, if you look nice and close, you can see that there is a dark ply and a light ply, and it's beautiful, and I really, really like it. So that's Navy. And the color that Mae's holding up is called Snowberry. And it's beautiful as well. And some of the blue that's in the navy is in the snowberry. And I think it's going to be a good match. There are some micro stripes in the pattern, and I'm really, really excited about making that one.
Nice.
It's really soft too, so it's going to make a nice shawl.
It will make a nice shawl.
And I haven't had one of these before. So this is Gingerbread Zest for Your Vest enamel pins. So there's my little black sheep. And I'm quite taken with it. And I'm not sure that I'm going to put it on a project bag. I think what I'm going to do, and I've seen some other people do this, is I'll get a picture frame that has a piece of board in it so that I can stick them in, and then I'll just have this little picture of those.
That'll be good.
Yeah, and I'll either put it beside where I knit, or I put it beside where I sew. And either way, it's going to be good. So that was my souvenirs from Woven Art. And now let's talk about sticks and strings. There's the card. Now, what they did, which was lovely, is they gave me a bag. And I love to have a nice little project bag. It's drawstring, and I love it. It was nice of them to do that for me. So I'm really thrilled about that.
Very nice.
And the yarn that I bought is Plymouth yarn, and it's called Happy Feet. Now, the one is called Splash because it's hand dyed, and this has some lovely, if you can do that for me, sure. It's got black, brown, and it's a lovely cream color. So I'm really pleased with that. I'd never seen Plymouth yarn before, and it is made in Peru, the yarn itself.
It's nice.
It is, it's beautiful.
Goes well together.
Exactly. And so I picked up black. I'm all about the 2-color shawls at this point in time. So if I buy 2 and I decide to just use one of the colors, I have the other one to do with something else. So I'm really, really happy with that. That's my souvenirs.
And you wear a lot of black, so that'll go well with whatever you choose.
I think it'll lighten up the black that I wear, and that's my plan as we go through.
Good choice.
So that was Sticks and Strings, also in Lansing. So those are my souvenirs. We had a great time.
We did.
Had a great adventure. So that's it for this episode. Until next time.
You take care.